Hi, my name is Frank Vega, and I'm going to share with you today a speech that I have put together as part of the requirements for my speech and communication class at Moody Bible Institute. The title of my speech is Investing in Our Children's Education. And the goal of my speech is to motivate parents to initiate planning for the children's education. And I want to begin today by stating a quote by the late Nelson Mandela in which he spoke about the importance of education. He says, "Education is the most powerful weapon in which you can use to change the world. I know of no more permanent imprint on life than the ones left by parents. More than any statesman or teacher, more than any minister or doctor, more than any movie star, athlete, entrepreneur, author, scientist, civic leader, actor, or military hero. You are the most influential person in your child's life." So how can parents influence their children's education, and how important it is for parents to be involved in their children's life? The educational careers of 25 to 40% of American children are imperiled because they don't read well enough, quickly enough, or easily enough. Since 1983, more than 10 million Americans reached the 12th grade without having learned how to read at basic level. In the same period, more than 6 million Americans dropped out of school altogether. In a survey done to two-thirds of teachers that were surveyed, they believe that their students would have performed better in school if their parents were more involved in their child's education, while 72% of parents say children of uninvolved parents sometimes fall through the cracks in school. So how can parents help their child's education? Well, the first thing that parents can do to help their child's education is read together. Children who read more at home with parents perform better in schools. Show your kids how important and how the value of reading by keeping good books around the house, magazines, and newspapers. Let them see you read. Take them on trips to the library. Encourage them to get library cards. Let children read to you and talk about the books. And ask questions such as, what was the book about? Why did a character act that way? What will he or she do next? Look for other ways to teach the children the magic of language, words, and story. The second thing that parents can do to help their children's education is establish a daily family routine with scheduled homework time. Studies show that successful students have parents who create and maintain family routines. Make sure your child goes to school every day. Establish a regular time for homework each afternoon or evening. Set aside a quiet, well-lit place and encourage children to study. Routines generally include time performing chores, eating meals together, and going to bed at an established time. What else can parents do to encourage their children's education? Talk to your children and teenagers. And not just talk to them, listen to them too. Talk directly to your children, especially your teenagers, about the dangers of drugs and alcohol and the values that you want them to have. Set a good example and listen to what your children have to say. Such personal talks, however uncomfortable they may make you feel, can save their lives. And finally, the last thing that parents can do to help their children's education is create and get the family to be involved in education. It's a lot of different types of activities. Some parents and families may have the time to get involved in many ways. Others may have the time for only one activity. But whatever your level of involvement, remember, if you get involved and stay involved, you can make a world of difference. Family involvement in education can mean you can make some time to go to your child's PTA meeting, discussing your children's progress with teachers, voting in school board elections, helping your school to set challenging academic standards, and even as much as limiting the TV viewing to no more than 2 hours on school nights. That's how parents can get the family to be involved in their education. Now, when we read together with our children, they will feel motivated to read because their parents are actually taking time to read with them. They will not feel that reading is unimportant. They will learn to appreciate literature and also improve their vocabulary. When we establish a daily family routine with scheduled homework time, our children will develop self-discipline to dedicate time every day to study. And this self-discipline is important not only to develop in the schoolwork, but this self-discipline is going to help them throughout the development of their entire life. When people are disciplined, they will be responsible individuals, whether it be in school, work, in their personal lives, and eventually in the workforce. When we talk to our children and teenagers and listen to them, it's going to create trust between the children and the parents. And the child, which in turn will provide a great relationship in which the child can speak openly and without fear to their parents. Children often talk with their friends about challenges they're facing, usually because they lack an open relationship with their parents. And they fear that their parents are going to get upset at them. So establish a communication avenue with your children. Get them to trust you. Get them to speak to you. Get them to be able to tell you anything that's on their mind. And so when family are involved, when the family is involved and the family is present in the child's education, our children are going to feel that their efforts are being noticed and their success is important. And also our children are going to feel that their efforts are being noticed and their success is important. There's nothing that transmits a message of disinterest than not being involved in our children's activities. So today, as I conclude this speech, I want to ask the parents to find out what are some of the child's interests. What are some of your child's interests and hobbies? Ask them if there's anything that they would like to talk about. Dedicate some time each week to spend time with your children and follow that plan throughout the entire year. Personally, when I was growing up, I didn't have my parents to encourage me as far as education. But instead of being upset and instead of being bitter, I developed a certain desire to instruct and to help my own children. And so now those experiences and the lack of having encouragement in my own life for education has created in me a desire to help educate my children. So again, as I conclude today, I want to leave you with the statement that I know of no more permanent imprint on life than the ones left by parents. You are the most influential person in the life of your child. Thank you.